So let's get this recording started, shall we? Since it is that we're mentioning stuff about with Red Sea, let's talk about the issues and the problem it is that we have as of right now. Sexy Red. Y'all like to compare me to this woman often. I mean, even at Berlin's ball, his security was even calling me sexy blue. And I'm just like, yo, stop. Like he's like listen, like his Berlin security was very, very, very friendly, very cool. Did their job for sure. But one of them was just like, hey, listen, like, like I'm loving the whole all blue thing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, the sexy red, but like with blue. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the issue with sexy red. Shout outs to Blackie Spears. So without further ado, let's get into this damn video, y'all. Let's do it.
What's going on with you today? I hope you're staying blessed out there. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about Sexy Red and why she's a problem. This topic was actually brought to my attention by one of my loyal subscribers, Putri and Dead. Thank you for dropping this comment in my last video, and thank you for recommending this topic to me. I said that I was going to look into it, and I did, and now I'm making a video on it because I have a lot to say about this topic. First of all, for anyone who's not familiar with the name Sexy Red, well,
This is
Sexy
a terrible
Red is
picture
a
of her.
25-year-old rapper from St. Louis, Missouri. She's one of the biggest female rappers on social media, and
She's
her
from
records
Missouri?
are very.
She's from Missouri? I did not I didn't expect her to be from Missouri. That was not. You said all the pictures are terrible. I mean, this one's better than the one before. This one's way better than the one that this one's terrible. Oh god. She talks about it. She talks about it? Oh shit. Oh, see, I never paid attention to it. I don't really know like her lyrics like that.
She's one of the biggest female rappers on social media, and her records
I wouldn't say the biggest.
are very, very inappropriate for the younger audience, which is very relevant to this topic. But she's really big on social media. She's gone beyond viral at this point. A lot of people are talking about her. Her records are going crazy. She's gotten some of the biggest cosigns in the music industry, including Nicki Minaj and, of course, Drake. Now, with that introduction being out of
You
the
said
way,
Smash?
let's actually go over this story in
Dang.
regards to Sexy Red. This is a story that didn't, I feel like, catch as much attention as it should have, and it happened a few weeks back. Now, I did see something related to this, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Maybe because, Sexy Red is someone who's been involved in so many other things, especially like the last couple weeks and the last couple months. Now, this story right here related to Sexy Red, I feel like needs more attention, at least more than any other things that she's been involved in, because this involves the youth, it involves this younger generation, and it involves the negative impact she's having on young children. And you guys know how serious we take that, because children are literally the future, and I think we as adults should be very serious about protecting the innocence of young children, because if we don't, then who's gonna do it? There's a lot of adults out there who, unfortunately, they're literally sleepwalking through life. A lot of these adults unfortunately have children of their own, like Blueface. Y'all seen that video that I made, right? And you guys also know that
brother.
Blueface is someone who's not a good parent at all. He's the same.
And Blueface isn't really fit for parenting. Neither is Jaden. Neither is Krishan. But I mean, as much as it is, like I hear people do an outcry about with Sexy Red's music, and like I did see there was a party of like little girls. They was singing along with it. They wasn't saying any cuss words, but the song was definitely uncensored. We gotta realize this. Us '90s babies, we grew up with like fucking Little Kim and Trina. You know what I'm saying? Like that hardcore album. It is that Little Kim, her first debut album, with like how she was like positioned in like in the damn cover and everything. Like we had no business singing the songs. The only thing is Crush on You was kind of cool, but even still, some of the lyrics and that was not appropriate for kids. Anything Trina related was not appropriate for kids. Like we're making an outcry about something it is that's even for us millennials we went through. You know what I'm saying? This is really regards to with parents. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is that the parents is exposing the kid to at the end of the day. Now, I could say it is that my dad is such a music lover. I grew up with music. I grew up playing video games and music through my father. You know what I'm saying? There's he's listened to this like the uncensored stuff, but a lot of the times it is that when I'm present, I've always listened to censored music. You get what I'm saying? Like that's something, and it's like my parents don't cuss like that or anything like that. They took a really, that's something it is that you're with parental figures or adults. You need to be mindful of who this is around, like around your kids. Now you can't change that when it is you're in school because that's a different story because you're not there and whatnot, and other people are exposed to different things, and they all coming together in school and everything like that. But it's really up to the parents. Like you can't be sitting there saying this like, oh, my child was singing this song and this and this. Like as a parent, you should be knowing what it is your child is exposed to, and you need to have those proper and appropriate conversations with your child about those things. I'll never forget this. So like even like R&B music had such like a lot of them was dirty macking back in the day of the damn 90s. And we was singing it. We had no business doing that, you know? For example, back when it is I was like 16 when I first created like MySpace, I'm showing age here. My dad gave me a whole conversation about like the dangers of social media, the dangers of the internet and stuff like that. Because once it is you get exposed to those things, that is it. You get what I'm saying? So it's really up to the parents. Like it's what the parents do around the children is what makes or breaks it. But let's
Same
get
guy
back.
who's literally pushing strippers on his child's face.
Right,
So
Peg.
there's that. Don't get it twisted though, guys. There's millions of quote unquote parents out there, just like Blueface. He's just one of them, and he's just one who happens to be famous and happens to be recognized and known. But don't get it twisted, guys. There's a lot of them out there, and I just feel like we need to hit on these conversations because there's not enough platforms who are talking about him, unfortunately. So this story involves Sexy Red herself, and it involves a young teacher, a ballet teacher actually, a young woman. The young woman in question is 22 years old. She teaches ballet to 5-year-old girls. A couple weeks ago, this young woman decided to speak about some things that's been going on in her class, and she did so in this TikTok
Which
that
one?
went
Which
viral.
strawberry
I'm
lemonade?
calling out all the parents. If you're a parent and your child is in pre-K to elementary school to high school, I'm calling you out. The children today, I have never experienced, and
Oh.
I'm 22. Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life.
So in the first half of this TikTok that this young woman put up that ended up going viral, she was speaking about how the majority of the young girls in her ballet class, like 5-year-old young girls, they were having a very hard time respecting authority. Now, obviously, the issue with these children not respecting authority is, hey, she's a ballet teacher, and so anyone who's in her class should be able to follow instructions. In this video, she was specifically talking about how a lot of the young girls in her class, as an example, refused to sit down in their chair when she told them to do so. And that was making her job so much harder. Very understandable. Now, not only are the children in her class refusing to follow instructions, they're also disrespectfully talking back at her. They're also throwing things at each other. She then spoke about how when she brought this up with the children's parents, she got a response that she wasn't really expecting. She told a story about how there was this one girl who was kind of causing a ruckus. She wasn't really following instructions and listening to any of the orders that she was given so she could, keep the structure of the class. And she brought this up with the girl's mother, and her mother actually blamed everything on her, the teacher. Now this young woman, the ballet teacher, she was just letting out the frustration, like, what is going on in society? How come the parents are now so okay with their children having zero structure out in the world? And that's obviously a great point. I mean, we're talking about a ballet teacher here. I would never expect that a class full of young girls who are supposed to be taught ballet would be anything but orderly. Now,
The problem is what the child is exposed to at the house. There's been plenty of times where it is I've seen kids, especially now. I see younger kids, they cuss more than me. And I'm like, why the fuck it is you cussing more than me and I'm the adult? Like I'm the one that is like. And the biggest thing it is for me, like I grew up in a Christian household and I grew up with Christian parents. My mother, well, technically speaking, my mother's Christian. My dad is a different religion, but he's not as religious as everybody else that is in my family. But the problem is that this is a parent problem. This is like she's doing the right thing because teachers don't get paid enough money for what it is that they have to deal with. you're coming into work, like the objective and the goal is like, oh, okay, cool, I'm hoping it is, I'm gonna have a great day, love my students and everything like that, blase blase. But parents do not understand the level of having to teach the discipline, because the parents is like, oh, okay, cool, like they gone, you know what I'm saying, I could sleep a little bit, I could go to work, you know what I'm saying, I gotta do this and this while it is they're in school. But somebody has to teach these babies structure. They have to teach them things when it comes down to like subjects and everything. That is not an easy thing to do. It takes a village to raise a child. You cannot do all of these things by yourself. That like, although it is, I give single mothers a lot of recognition because of the fact that it's like the situation they are put in. They do the best it is that they can when it comes down to this. But you need teachers, man. You need teachers. Teachers will either make or break a child's life. You know what I'm saying? I can think of a couple teachers is that impacted me both positively and negatively. But we really need to understand this as a parent, where it's like you expose these children to something, they go to school and they act upon the things it is they see, especially since it is the parent is not there anymore. So if you cussing, carrying on and doing certain things, the child is going to literally reflect the same thing it is that they see the parent doing, because they think is normal and acceptable at home. It's the same thing with kind of Blueface's son, where there was one live, it is that I don't even know why Blueface did this. Blueface and Jaden went into the room obviously to play wrestling, if you will. And they left the son, the oldest son, on the in front of the camera, and he's, you know what I'm saying, he's, touching areas of within himself. And then the mother kind of got on him about that. And it's just like, first and foremost, why would you put this little boy in front of this camera like this? And that is also another type of conversation to where it's just like, look, I get it with boys. Boys tend to do this. It's something it is that's normal. It's not like a sexual thing, it is, I would say. But from what I've seen, and it's even like with brothers and like my brother and everything like that growing up, that, that's something it is like, hey, listen, from what it is that I've seen. But I am also not a parent. I'm just going based off of like, with having a younger brother. But I think this is a conversation it is that really do need to be had with parents. Parents really need to start taking in that accountability of just like the teachers are trying to help. If you do not have the teachers to teach your child these things, then it's all on you. And especially when it is of like during the pandemic, and like the parents, the children would be at home and the parents and stuff. Now the parents were seeing like the stuff it is that you have to go through when it comes down to being with school, modern technology and everything like that. Math curriculum changed so much, even when it is, I was in fucking public school. I'm like, why are they teaching these young kids this? A child going to school is literally a full-time job. And it is very anxiety inducing to these kids, these babies. It went from everything all goo goo gaga, like, oh, I'm a baby, and then bottles, milk, and everything like that, blase, blase, pamper change, all that. So now it is like you are literally in a childlike work environment. Not everybody's going to respond to that level at the same level, But this is a really good conversation. Some people need vasectomies and their tubes tied, or they don't deserve to reproduce. Damn. Don't even get me started with parents trying to be friends with their kids and not actually being parents. That's a sticky conversation. What's up, Riz? Parents now had the parents our teachers complained about. The bad parents raised a bunch of and now here we are. Yeah, that is truth. This is where it is that we're at as of right now. So you're
Obviously,
not wrong.
I'm wrong, and that kind of makes me a little worried.
I teach 5-year-olds ballet. 5-year-old girls ballet. I
Okay.
have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're
Ooh.
throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. I told a young little girl, please sit in your spot. You're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do.
See,
Okay.
y'all didn't listen. Y'all didn't. Now, I didn't grow up like this, but my parents did. Y'all didn't have teachers it is that will literally go ahead and pop you for saying stuff like this. We are in a different type of apocalypse as of right now, you know? So it's like my parents literally came from an era to where it is if you act in a certain type of way in front of somebody like a neighbor or somebody it is that's like that y'all live with and they have to go ahead and reprimand you and then tell your parents about it, you got double the ass whooping. We're in a different time. We are in an absolute different time when it comes down to that because you can't do stuff like that anymore. You know, but a lot of our parents grew up that way. A lot of our parents had teachers it is that would pop you with a ruler or pop you in the mouth if you say something slick. It's like, all right, you want to go ahead and talk smart to me? Now tell your parents what it is that I just did to you. Boy, and even with myself growing up, you know, I could say it is like I've seen only one person get popped, and that was the third grade. But that was the last time it is I seen something like that. But like being a teacher is not for the weak, man. That's why I'm just like, dang, you know, like what do you think? Like, chat. Let me ask this question on both chats. What do you think it is there is a lack of in our society now when it comes down to a level of with these kids? Because these kids are going to be the future of all these things, and I'm hoping it is like we don't have future doctors that's out here saying W's in real life. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think it is that we are lacking as of right now?
Okay.
I'll read them
When her
along
mom
the way
came to
while it
pick
is
her
we're
up,
watching
I
this.
said, hey, your daughter's having a hard time following instructions, and 7 times today I've had to redirect her to
Lack
just
of
sit in her
accountability.
spot. Well, clearly she didn't want to sit, and mind you, this is a mom. Clearly she didn't want to fucking sit right there. So I mean, if she's telling you she don't want to do something, why keep asking her to do it? You know she's not going to do it. What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys'
Lack of
brain as a
discipline.
parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing. It's not that serious, and y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad.
Now,
Now, some things it is that I will say, she's not like the parent may not be wrong when it comes down to that. If a child is uncomfortable with certain things, there's, like I said, everything that's like behavior wise is there's usually a reason to behind that, you know, and it can be a little difficult trying to pinpoint that with multiple children. But I think I see both sides of the spectrum here. I see where the parent is coming from, and I also see where the teacher's coming from. Both are not wrong. To me, I'm thinking it is both parties is not wrong when it comes down to this. Good parenting and not really getting on your children. I ain't saying you gotta beat the motherfucker, but sometimes a belt to the ass is needed. But here we are in a times like I said, I grew up on that peg. But we're in a time as of right now, it is if you see a viral video of a parent disciplining their child, but you see somebody going ahead and like, you know, whooping their little baby with a belt for being disobedient, we will have people in the comments saying it is that, oh, that's child abuse or that's CA. Let me put it that way. It's CA. You can't do that. This and this. Fear does not equate to respect. You know that's something. It is like now we're at that point. Would I hit my kid? No, I don't think it is that I have to, because at the end, like what I just said, a lot of people's parents use the level of fear when it comes down to respect, and it's like no, what you're doing is just teaching your child how to lie. Nah, we got strong stairs. Boy, listen, we do. If y'all come from a family to where it is your mother gave you a death stare, that's all you needed to straighten up. That's all you needed was just a stern look. I still to this day, if my mom or my dad gave me that stern look, I'm tightening up. I don't know what it is. It's PTSD at this rate. I don't know what it is, but it'll get me to straighten the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Easily. But you said that's the parents' fault. Like, don't record your child getting disciplined. But we've seen a lot of that. I've seen parents go as far a parent going as far as chopping her daughter's hair off for being disobedient. Um, he fathers giving their sons the old man haircut, um, destroying Xboxes, PlayStations, and stuff like that. And they're using that as a quote unquote form of, well, punishment because it is they was being disobedient or they did this, and this. I've even seen as far as mothers and fathers literally putting hands like fists to their children. So you said whooping your child doesn't do shit nowadays. I would first of all, limitless. How'd you go ahead and get onto the other side? Now you thinking it is you free.
Tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad.
Now, on the second part of this viral TikTok, and this is when Sexy Red comes into play, the young ballet teacher was talking about how the young girls were explicitly stating that they wanted to hear Sexy Red records being played during the class. Now, before we continue, guys, we're talking about 5-year-old girls, okay? Just keep that in mind. We're not talking about high school kids, and hey, even high school kids, I would be like,
Summer Walker?
that's actually inappropriate, because hey, we're talking about 14 to 18-year-olds. I don't know about you, but I don't think it's appropriate, okay? Maybe you feel different, but I don't think it's appropriate because those are what we call the adolescent years. Those are actually some of the most vulnerable years for an adolescent, not only physically, but especially mentally. Now, this obviously holds way more impact because we're talking about children who are in kindergarten. So think about everything I just said, but apply that to the age that we're talking about.
And another thing that's heart-wrenching is horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee. Your daughters, your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them Princess Tiana ballet music. And they are asking me, can we hear Pound? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen in my life. We do freeze dance. You guys' daughters are twerking at 5. Where's the parenting? Where's the boundaries?
She's not wrong.
The help? Y'all are not helping your kids. You're hurting them. You guys are hurting them. I come every day dressed, ready to go, and I'm in school too. I'm in college. I mean, I put bows in my hair. I'm wearing leotards. I'm trying to get them interested in like proper things for their age, and you guys are exposing your kids to this raunchy secular music. Why is you guys' 5-year-old daughters singing Pound Town? Y'all come in and you're more worried about what's going on your Instagram and TikTok feed versus being a parent. Be a fucking parent. You guys are horrible parents. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but this generation of some of the mom, not all, but majority that I've dealt with kids that are between the ages of 5 and 4 and 3, you guys don't parent your children at all. They have no basic comprehension skills. They can't sit still. No attention span. They're hitting people. They can't talk. They can't communicate. They don't even know how to say, like, I want to go to the bathroom.
So as you guys could...
I feel her. I really do. I really... I really feel her when it comes down to this. You know, I really do. Now, again, like I said, like we have Sexy Red is not the only female rapper it is who kind of raps raunchy. But this is the reason to why it is that I have a problem even being associated with the name Sexy Blue is because for instance, I want this to be very clear. People get on me about even having blue hair at the end of the day because anything of like having colored wigs is technically ratchet. They are not wrong for saying that. Now, ratchetness is personality based. I will say based off of that. You could have a colored wig, and like you could have, you know, your mannerisms be cool. But here's the thing though, most people who look at you organically is going to classify you as being ratchet. That is something it is that I gave myself that level of like, you know what, this is what this is going to be. Now, here's the thing, it is like with us black women, it's bad enough it is that we have the disadvantage of just being black by itself. A lot of people do not take us seriously just based off of looks by itself. Now, when you start adding a level of how it is that you talk, how it is that you dress, if you out here popping your mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like certain level of bamboo earrings, like, hey, where my baby father at? Like, niggas love ratchet bitches, like stuff like that. You're making it far more worse for people to take you seriously. Although at the end of the day, I like to sit there and also say this: niggas love ratchet bitches. As much as it is that niggas love to sit there and talk badly about ratchet women, they still do. Who be sitting there and fucking with these ratchet women? Niggas. So it's like it's like, all right, cool. You know it is that like you wouldn't take that seriously when it comes down to like marriage and everything like that. But y'all are still going ahead and sticking y'all dick into these women and creating seeds with these women. That is the problem. That is the level of the problem. And then, of course, it is you are a product of the environment it is that you live in. So the child grows up in these environments and think it is that is a normal, acceptable thing. This is why it is you have kids that are fighting at an early age. You got kids it is that are like that are out in the streets, gang banging and stuff like that. Now, I will say this though, there is a lot of children it is that are not like that. It is complete opposite of what it is their environment is, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Hey, Chris Rock said it best. There's black people, and then there's niggas." That's true. That's true, and that's why I have an issue with that. Because again, it's like for what she perpetuates, where between her and Sukiana, you're perpetuating a lot of ratchetness. And I said this last night, even on my Twitter, that because there was some girl named Smiley on like Baddies East, and I guess it is like she had like she was passed out drunk, she had a seizure and everything, and people were saying it is that this is fake. And this is why I have a problem with Zeus Network. Anything it is that puts us in a negative light, where it is that we're fighting, cussing, carrying on, acting outlandish, it is that we don't need to be acting like that. It is bad enough it is people automatically think that of us. Other races think that of us organically. So when you're putting stuff like that, this is what niggas think of us. So again, like what Sexy Red and Sukiana push out is very raunchy, and I wholeheartedly I'm with her on this. Now I may have grown up with like with you know the little Kims and Trinas and a bunch of other female rappers, but I'm not like that. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm not like that. I've listened to it. I know word for bar, but I don't live like that. But not everybody is like that. Zeus where is like the shade room is bad for black communities. I even say what's that other one? World Star. World Star was originally supposed to be like a black journalist website, but then it turned into something terrible down the road. I don't even know if that's still a thing to this day. I'm just like, yeah, I can't do this. Zeus Network, I don't watch. I stop watching Love and Hip Hop. I stop watching things that is. I'm just like, I don't even live like this. But hearing about the drama sometimes is cool, sometimes it's not. But it's like, damn, like nobody, you know what I'm saying? We as a whole, we have to change this.
Obviously, here, this young woman, she's very worried and very concerned for these young girls in her class. Like, she seems genuinely concerned. Like, she cares. Like, she actually cares, man.
Truthfully be told, Sharkeisha, I think it is that she's no longer with us in the physical essence. I think she has passed away. But what she did to that girl should have sued her. And I'm like, look, that girl wasn't fighting you. You swung at that girl something nasty. And it was recorded on old phones, may I add. She should have sued. She should have sued. I'm sorry. I'm looking back at that, like it's just like, oh damn, you gotta knock the fuck out. Now as an adult, I'm just like, hell no. She should have took legal action. Because that shit was egregious. You gonna sit there and sneak a bitch that's not even fighting you? Like stuff like that. I'm just like, yeah, nah, I can't respect that.
She's like shedding tears, and she seems to care more than the parents, obviously, because How in the world are these 5-year-old girls even finding Sexy Red? How do they even know about this artist who has all this questionable content that's not for children in her
Right, she
music?
knocked that girl
How
out.
do they even know about Sexy Red, right? Now, the answer to that question is obviously because their parents, okay, these little girls' parents, they're not really mentally present with their children. And so
Yep.
the child probably has like a phone, or they borrow the parent's phone, and then they're on the phone and they're looking all this stuff up. Because they're out here talking about play Pound Town and play Ski, which those are songs from Sexy Red. We all know what Sexy Red is talking about in those songs. Now, just in case you don't know, let's actually read some of the lyrics. So this is the chorus to Pound Town. Pound Town just left Pound Town. When my nigga, he just took a bit down. That nigga dick a bit down. That nigga eat me out. And then this is the first verse to Ski. Sexy Red says, take a big nigga, show no mercy, do the pussy bitch dirty. She like sexy, why you hurt me? Took him down off them yerkies. When you with me, put that dick all up in my backside. I'm a hood bitch, sitting courtside. I'll show up pussy, how this Mac ride, little bitch. I'm from the north side. And then this is another one of Sexy Red's records featuring Sukiana. It's called Hood Rats. She says, hood bitch, I fuck like a pro, nutted all up in a op nigga's throat. When I fuck a nigga, I fuck him on a low, lost my virginity and turned into a Just a question to you, if you're listening to this, maybe ponder on what I'm about to ask. If you're, let's say, a parent, or let's say you got some little cousins, if you heard them singing records like this, what exactly would you do? Like, how would you respond? That's something I think everybody, regardless of if you got kids, you should probably ponder on that. Because if you're going to bring kids into this world with this new generation, these are things that you're actually going to have to, think about. Ain't nobody safe out here these days. I'm just saying, especially with how these social media algorithms are set up, because they're set up in a way where they're actually, trying to target children now. Just putting it out there. So these young girls are gonna be singing this at some point, because if they like
They already
Pound Town and
are.
Ski, those two Sexy Red songs.
Sexy Red even performed at a high school. Now, I really want to go ahead and talk to the damn principal, because why would you allow that? You gonna bring... It's one thing it is the kids know about her songs, but when you're bringing her to a high school, that's a problem for me. That is a problem for me.
Obviously, they're gonna listen to her other music, and we're talking about 5-year-olds here, guys. Like 5-year-olds, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, continuing with the next part of the video. By the way, if you made it this far, can you do me a favor and like this video? Like, if you enjoy this content and you enjoy this conversation, drop a like right now. I appreciate you, and make sure that you're subscribed. Continuing. Now, Sexy Red, she actually ended up seeing this video, okay, and she ended up responding. So Sexy Red put up 2 different posts responding to this, so she thought it was a good idea to respond to this twice, one time on Twitter and one time on Instagram. And she essentially said the same thing on both posts.
I don't think,
so maybe saying the same thing.
She was not at my high school. She was at my college. Different story. Not my high school. I'm just like, she wasn't at no damn NFA.
Twice on 2 different platforms ain't so big brain, but maybe that was the idea. I don't know. But anyway, on this Instagram story right here, she took a screenshot of, the teacher going viral after she voiced her frustration. And she said, girl, play Pound Town Ski, her songs, and shut the F up, she said. And then same thing on Twitter. She said, girl, play Pound Town Ski and shut the F up. And on the Twitter post, she directly responded to the woman's TikTok video, where she was literally expressing her concern, okay? So Sexy Red saw this, and this is the appropriate response, according to her. So she ain't do this once, she did this twice, okay? Now, we had 2 different types of responses to this entire story. On one hand, we had, the sensible people of this world who are like, of course, little girls shouldn't be singing Ski and Pound Town, let alone know about Sexy Red, right? Why are these young girls talking?
Thank you, Peg. You said the right thing. She's a hood rat. What'd you expect? A hood rat with money. Now, the last thing it is that you ever want to go ahead and do is put those 2 and 2 together. Don't mean it is they got a little bit of money. Don't mean that they're not going to stop being the hood rat it is that they are. They are a product of your environment. So you're going to do what it is that you're accustomed to do. Not right, an expensive hood rat, but My issue is that with this is dangerous. This is highly dangerous as it is. Uh being a public figure, celebrity, or known, you get a lot of eyes on you and you get put in dangerous situations. And this is why, even when it is that she was sleeping and like the dude it is that she was messing with went live and she was sleeping, or like even leaked the video of their private intimate times, that is a problem, because now you can't do the things it is that you were used to doing even before it. Even beforehand, as a regular person, that's a problem. But you're putting yourself in dangerous situations to where people who do not fit your lifestyle, you're bringing them into it. Even the dude that went live looked shocked it is that he got the chance to even hit her in the first place. That got the chance to crack Sexy Red. He looked shocked. So it's stuff like that. What it is that I mean, like being a hood rat, and now you got money. It's putting you in dangerous situations, expensive situations, legal problem situations. Krishan, you're putting yourself into these things to where it is like, you can't move like that anymore. People will go ahead and try to embarrass you or sue you because it is that they can. They see it as you came up, got a little bit of money. So why not go ahead and attack you when it is that it hurts? These are dangerous situations you're putting yourself in.
Talking about play Sexy Red, they shouldn't do that. That's not something that they should do, okay? Because they're children, they're young, they're 5. And then on the other hand, we had, of course, some quote unquote adults who shouldn't even be called adults, but we're gonna call them that for now. They were kind of defending Sexy Red, okay? For whatever reason, I don't really know. Because ain't no way you're an adult with a functioning brain who is on Sexy Red side here, unless you have a peanut brain, like a brain that's like a macadamia nut or something, then I get it. But anyway, that was kind of the general consensus. We have 2 different types of responses, and obviously if you're listening to me, you know what side I land on, and I already know what side you land on, because you are actually someone who you can think and you can kind of see what's really going on.
We're not doing this.
Let's talk a little bit about Sexy Red, because Sexy Red, just based off of this response, tells me one thing: she is an absolute puppet. Sexy Red obviously has she has 0 concern for the young generation, because
Absolutely
she literally
not.
seen the video of this young ballet teacher talking about all these things that were going on in her class, and she decided to defend her destructive music in this instance, because she has no concern for the young generation, and because she just cares about getting her records played, even if it's at the detriment of young girls. And it's crazy because we're talking about another woman who's literally seeing how destructive this music is to these young girls in her class in real time, and she's sharing all this frustration because she wants to see a change and she really cares. And
Right.
Sexy Red's response to this young woman was, shut the hell up, just play my records. Like very like blasé, like indifferent, I don't really care, just play my music, girl. So that's someone who's completely disregarding morals, and she's only concerned with money, okay? So that's Sexy Red in a nutshell. She's an industry puppet 100%.
1000%.
This obviously confirms that she knows what exactly her music is doing and how it's negatively affecting the youth, but she obviously doesn't have an ounce of concern because she's making money and she doesn't give a damn. But then again, why should she care? She's really in it for herself, right? And the thing about an artist like Sexy Red as it relates to the music industry is she's someone who's being used to promote certain agendas because she's so easy to control. And this is what the music industry does, specifically in hip-hop, right? They try to find people they could put at the forefront who are willing to do any and everything just for a little buck, so they can use them as puppets to push certain agendas and certain ideologies. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of these ideologies and a lot of these agendas are things that are directly hurting the next generation. So it's not by mistake that someone like her has so much clout on social media right now. I've been saying this, but there's definitely something very dark going on right now behind the scenes. And the darkness isn't like some intangible and like mysterious thing that I'm talking about. Literally, I'm just talking about what we're seeing right now. Here we have an extremely popular figure on social media who has a lot of influence at their fingertips and knows exactly
A lot of damn booty shaking. This scene
she not only chooses to
being
ignore
shown.
it, but she double downs on it publicly.
I really
That
don't want
tells
this
me
to
that
be like
Sexy
oh,
Red
you're showing sexual
doesn't
content.
really have a soul. If she did, then she put it up for sale a long time ago, and now she's gone. She's literally here in physical form, but her soul and spirit is somewhere else. Because someone with a soul and someone with a conscience would at least acknowledge what they're doing. If not acknowledge it, she would have never responded to this, because she would have been like, you know what, I know exactly what this young woman is talking about, and so I'm not really gonna respond because, I kind of feel a little bit bad. But that's not what she said. She literally told this woman, shut the hell up, play my records. So this is the exact reason why the industry is promoting her right now. They're promoting her because they know that she's willing to do any and everything for a little buck. It's just, to me, it don't really make sense why we even have people defending someone like this in a situation like this, when an actually intelligent young woman who's out here working with the children speaks her mind with great concern. There's people out there pushing back on what she's saying, and this is happening because there's so many people out there, they just refuse to wake up and they refuse to see the truth, because seeing the truth actually takes a lot of effort, believe it or not. It's very easy to not only ignore but sleepwalk through these conversations that we're having right now. Most people are not really going to understand the weight of a story like this, because most people are like them zombies on The Walking Dead. They have no clue what's going on, they can't see what's going on, nor can they predict what's going to happen. A lot of people on social media be talking about how women's voices are marginalized and ignored, and nobody's listening to women when they speak. But they only say that when the woman in question doesn't go against the status quo. When she actually does, like this, ballet teacher, and she actually challenges and kind of pushes back on the things that people are very uncomfortable with, and she's talking about these very hard conversations that a lot of people just refuse to have, they not only make fun of her, but they also shame her and refuse to see the truth in what she's saying. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of women just, they refuse to speak up, because a lot of women know, hey, if I say something like this, I'm actually going to be the one that's getting attacked, and you're goddamn right, you will. And you know what the thing is, contrary to popular belief, I actually think that women are more at risk at getting attacked, especially when they kind of like challenge certain conversations, because people aren't so used to seeing a woman outspoken like this. That's the same reason why the music industry doesn't really like Nicki Minaj like that, because she actually stands up for her shit. So when they see a woman being outspoken and standing on 10 toes down, they're going to make sure that they attack her so they can discourage other women from speaking out. Because there's a lot of women out here, especially women with powerful voices in the industry, who, for example, have a lot of things to say about a Sexy Red, but they're never going to say a damn thing because they don't want to be ostracized, and they don't want other people, but especially other women, to be like, hey, why are you hating on another woman? When in reality, this ain't about hating on another woman. This is really about protecting the innocence of the young generation, which is something that not a lot of people care about now, and I'm just dumbfounded at that fact. But anyway, I could, keep on ranting about this. But you know what? I'm just going to end it here because I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this topic. By the way, if you made it this far, guys, do me a favor and like this video, okay? The likes really help because it promotes the video in the algorithm. So if you appreciate all the conversations we're having on here, just drop a like and make sure you're subscribed as well. Any thoughts on this conversation surrounding Sexy Red? What do you guys think about some of the stuff that the teacher said? Do you agree with the teacher? Do you agree with Sexy Red? What do you think about Sexy Red's response?
This is still a terrible picture of her.
So that being said, see you in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next.
This, you know what I'm saying? I kind of wanted to get out of the video because I noticed there was not much of editing on it wasn't Blackie Spears' fault. It was the editing onto like the video within itself, because I saw some things. I'm just like, hold on, wait a minute now. But hey, listen, shout outs to you, Blackie Spears. That was a very informative video. I really do like that. And especially when it is that we have conversations and talks like this, I think it's good to brainstorm and to also have like debates about this, of like, how do we challenge this? How, like, what are the problems here? And how do we move forward? But with that being said, shout outs to everybody in the chat, and shout outs to you at home. I'll catch you in the next video.